with the final tier list. This time is going to be the tier list of Attack on Titan from chapter 1 to chapter 139, including the extra pages, the final, uh, you know, tier list. So we're going to start down here this time because it's a lot less, it gets more interesting as we go up. So, Pixis. Overall, just B tier character. Nothing wrong with Pixis. Oh yeah, let me before I begin again, well fuck it, I already put them here. Let me reevaluate what everything's gonna be. So in the past I've done a character who affects the plot and a character who develops and does so within their screen time. So however much their screen time is, calculates how well they do it. We're still going to keep that, but we're also going to keep consistency because consistency is a very big problem in this series. So we're going to keep consistency, character remaining consistent. And consistency doesn't necessarily mean, you might think development and consistency kind of contrast each other, but no, they don't. You can develop consistently. It's a way to do that. If you develop based on logic, based on who I've been delivered to you as a person, and based on what your surroundings and what the author has shown to me based on your what you've seen and what you've learned, and you develop based on that still can be consistent. And we're going to have a lot of examples of consistent development, but not many. So Pixis is B. Okay. And B tier just means they don't take anything from the story away from the story. They don't do anything too great. They're just kind of there. A means they're above average. They do pretty good. They add to the story in some way or another, or maybe a lot, but just not enough to be S tier. And S tier means they add to the story tremendously. They're a great example of what a character should be. F tier means they take away from the story. They're negative. They negatively impact the story for whatever reason, which I'll get into once we get to the character. Okay. So next one we have Shotis. So Shotis was cool until he joined the Yeagerist, killing the Yeagerist thing, which I'm not a big fan of, obviously, but I can see why he did it. I guess his reasoning was all right, but it was a little forced. I wouldn't say he takes away anything from the story though, so we'll give him a B. But I don't like the Yeager's thing. Exactly, give him a B. Doesn't take anything away from the story. He's just there, trying to be the leader and shit like that. All right, what's my nigga name? Porco. People were mad because I gave Porco a B last time when I should have gave him an A, as some people say, because of his development. But his development was literally the last minute, and it wasn't really like a natural development. It was like a cheat code development because Reiner touched him and then he remembered everything out of nowhere. So I don't really count that as development. That was just more so of like he didn't do it on his own. He did it because of a fucking Deus Ex Machina, basically. Which is why I put him in B. If that development had been natural and he naturally learned to forgive Reiner and all that without the Deus Ex, then I would have gave him an A. But no. All right. Armin. F. Ooh, he is F. He is so F. It's unbelievable. Now, keep in mind, Armin pre-time skip. That's my second favorite character in the series. Great. Well-written character. Added a lot to the story. Definitely was shaping up to be of interest. A good character. But then, after the time skip, he became a terrible character. He's very hypocritical, very illogical, makes garbage, shitty plans, isn't willing to sacrifice what like he said he was going to be, like he was set up to be in the past. His development is not consistent. His character is not consistent. His screen time is wasted. He's always whining and bitching and being weak, just like Aaron said he was. Nothing's changed. He's trash. Bertolt, Bertolt died pre-time skip, so if a character died pre-time skip, they're normally going to be fine, and Bertolt definitely is fine. He did die pre-time skip, so he didn't take anything away from the story. It's not his fault that Aaron didn't kill him. So as far as development goes, he had a fair amount of development for his screen time. He was very consistent, and he did kick down the walls. He started off everything, even though he was kind of under orders by doing it. So it's kind of hard to say that was him per se. It was his choice, but yeah, I would say Bertolt. What I would give Bertolt an A. I think Bertolt's better than a B, just slightly though. Dina, B. She doesn't do anything, take anything away from the story. She's not really a character. All right, Historia. Historia was great, just like Armin pre-time skip. Post-time skip, she doesn't take anything away from the story herself as a character. Her pregnancy does, and the fact that she had a baby by some random dude and then hid it. And not only that, but she could pretend it like she was like on the island side at the end of 139 when she literally went against the island. So I don't know why they're still listening to her as if she's the queen when she's the one who fucking went against everyone and lied behind their backs. You know, she wasn't really working in their best interest, at the time. So post time skip Historia is a lot worse than pre time Historia in my opinion. Pre time skip Historia is definitely an S. Post time skip is probably a B, or maybe even closer to an F. So I'll give Historia as a whole A. Frida was pretty good. I liked that she took time out to go to Historia and try to give her some type of compassion, even though she erased her memories every time. At least she tried. That was I always thought that was very sweet of her. But unfortunately she was possessed by the king's will, so we can't really know what her opinion is based on that. After she got the information from Grisha, we don't really know how she personally felt because she was possessed basically. So it's hard to give her a really good rating based on that. Plus she didn't develop much. She didn't really affect the plot all too much. So I would give her a B. Whew, Levi. Okay. So Levi again is basically like a weapon character. He's not really meant to be an actual character. He's more so like a tool he's more like he's a sword. You can't really expect a character like that to be, it would be nice, but you can't really expect a character like that to be too multifaceted. Does he take anything away from the story other than the panel in 139 where Isayama tried to gaslight us to convince us that Erwin and everyone else would have wanted Eren dead? Levi really didn't do anything wrong in the story. He definitely added to it in certain situations where he told Eren that, to make his own decisions, and whatever decision to stick to it, even though he didn't really stick to that decision. That advice he gave him, because when Eren took that advice, he didn't like the result of the advice he gave him, which is very inconsistent. So I'll give him a B. Yamir, again, I'll give her S. She'll be our first S tier character. Once again, I think Freckled Ymir is the perfect example of a side character. Not only did she affect the plot dramatically by revealing that Titan shifters were a thing, or other Titan shifters were a thing outside of Eren, she also was able to analyze the situation between her and Reiner, and she used that situation to her advantage. She may have had a very great relationship with Historia. She was a very multifaceted character. It was you could never really tell where she was coming from, what side she was on. She made great sense. And again, she is the perfect example of a side character. This is how, she's the best side character in the story. I don't consider Historia a side character. I consider her a secondary main character. I consider Ymir a side character, and she's a great side character. She's gay S tier. Shut up. Okay. And that's not, I don't know why people think she's gay. I don't really think she's gay. I think to marry her was kind of like a joke between them. I don't think Ymir is gay. I don't think Isayama was really going that way. I just think they had a really close relationship. But okay. Marcel's a good character. He doesn't take anything away from the story. He was on the screen for a very short amount of time. His development was pretty good, but he doesn't really add anything to the story. Obviously, he gave Ymir the Jaw Titan, but I'll give him a B. Okay. Maggot, I give an F. Now, the reason why I give Maggot an F is because he's so fucking self-righteous. Like, bruh, why do you always think that you're right? You've already been confirmed that you're wrong. don't you think that maybe you should take a moment and think about the next move before you just assume that this move is right as well? He has no development. His screen time, he has a relatively decent amount. He develops, but his development is trash. No. Again, Willie's sister doesn't add to the plot. B tier. Just there. Peak. Now, Peak, I like I said before, I don't really like Peak. I don't really like her as a character. She doesn't really have much motivations other than I want to help my friends. She doesn't really have a personal stake in things. She doesn't really develop. She doesn't really grow. Even at the end, she still just wants to kill Eren, even though it's against the Paradisians who helped them don't want to kill Eren, but she wants to, and tries to betray them basically in the last moment. And then after that, she has the nerve to say, "I wish I could talk to Eren." After that, which really pissed me off for her. So yeah, I would give Peak F as well. I don't really like Peak. I don't think Peak added, or I think Peak took away from the story. I think the story would be better if she wasn't there, to be honest. Colt, I gave Colt an A before. I give him an A again. I think he's a solid character. He does what he has to do. He develops. Just trying to look out for his brother. Adds to the story, makes decisions, even though his decisions don't work out. He tries his best. I appreciate that in a character who tries their best. So I'll give him an A. On Yakapone, I give an F. Now the reason why I give on Yakapone an F is pretty different than the other characters, and I'm gonna tell you why. On Yakapone is just there because he's black. On Yakapone's character could have been anybody. It could have been Elena. It could have been anybody, but it had to be a black dude. And I don't like that. That's the first thing. I thought that was weird. Like, why are you just bringing a black dude just to bring a black dude? I'm not putting a Yakapone there because he's black. I'm putting a Yakapone there because Isayama decided to make him black for no reason. He don't do anything. He doesn't add to the plot. He's just literally there to say, "Hey, we got a nigga here," and I don't like the token black dude. I don't like that, bro. That shit is corny to me. That shit is corny to me. Cornball. He doesn't have good lines. Everything he says is on the nose and obvious. Things that people who have been watching the series already know. He's basically like preaching down my throat, telling me, "Don't you know that violence is bad?" Bro, I knew that since the first episode. I don't need you to tell me this. I've been here, like, you talking to me like I'm stupid. I don't like Anyakapone. He's a B. Fuck no, he's not a B. He's S tier. Okay. All right, Falco. Again, I give Flock A. I know everybody wants Flock to be S, but I give Flock A. The reason why I give Flock A is the only time he made a decision that changed the story was when he brought Erwin, but that wasn't really his decision. He was just bringing Erwin. He had no clue what was going to happen. He had no clue that it was between Armin and shit like that. On top of that, he doesn't develop from that point. He develops, yes, but he doesn't develop from that point. And at the end of the story, his plans were just as bad as Armin's. He should have sent the Yeagerists to blow up the boat. There's no reason why he shouldn't have done that. There's no reason why he shouldn't have done that. There's no reason. He led a coup d'etat under Eren's order, which is great. A is very good. A is nothing wrong with being A tier, guys. There's nothing wrong with that. But I'm not giving him S. The last section of the story, he could have done better. He definitely could have done better. He should have sent them to blow up the boat immediately. He could have done better. That was Isayama, not Flock. We could say the same thing about all these characters, bro. It's not fair. Could say the thing about all these characters. Can't do that. Can't be biased. All right, let's go and get Sovereign now. Put Sovereign A as well. Sovereign affected the story. He developed. He affected Zeke, obviously, dramatically. A great character. Does a lot for the story. Good character. Colt did nothing. You put him A. Colt did do something. What are you talking about? No, A and not all A characters are the same. There's I'm not going in any particular order. But not all A characters are the same. There are better A characters than others, better B characters. Obviously, there are better B characters, and there are worse Fs. So no, I'm not gonna go through that much detail. Okay, next one, the King within the wall. The King within the walls. I'll give him A as well. I don't want to give him S because he doesn't really develop, but I like his philosophy for the story, as I said before. I think he's a great side character for the story. Obviously, he had major implications to the plot. The reason why parody exists is because of him. How is he B? How could he possibly be B when he's the reason why the walls are there? When he's the reason why aliens forgot everything? How could he possibly be B? She was sitting in a chair post time skip. Was she sitting in a chair pre time skip? Was the story sitting in a chair pre time skip? This is the whole story, bro. Not just post time skip. This is the whole story. Oh shit! You're right. I'm bugging. I'm bugging. I always get them mixed up. Bro. Well, I'll represent this guy Yuri because he don't really do shit except like tell Kenny some lessons and shit. I'll represent him as the first king. I'll represent him as Carl Fritz. I always get them mixed up. I'll represent him as Carl Fritz. So pretend like he's Carl Fritz. The Yuri don't really do shit. Who cares about Yuri? Yuri don't do shit. Okay, Yuri definitely is irrelevant. Pretend like he's Carl Fritz. The first king. Pretend like he's the first king. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. This nigga, Reese, doesn't take away from the story. Just exists. Not Carl Fritz, bro. The freaking person who started the original king within the walls. Him. Pretend like that's him. Okay? Not whoever, Carl Fritz, King Fritz, whatever, bro. I don't fucking know the difference. Okay? Alright, Reese, definitely B. Doesn't take anything away from the story. Just a prick, basically. Get the king, get the shit over with. Get Historia on, you know, give her dialogue and shit like that. Okay, Fritz, there you go, Fritz. All right, next one we got Kenny. Some people were mad at me because they said Kenny should be S tier. I don't think Kenny's S tier, but I do think he's A. I do think he's A for sure. I don't think he's S, but I do think he's A. The reason why I think he's A is because he, as the story, he develops, and he has a good philosophy that unfortunately became a lot more people followed than I think it was intended, but I think he's solid for A pick. Hannes a B. People say Hannes should be an A because he got brave to fight the Titan that he was scared of originally, but you have to keep in mind that when he was scared of that Titan, he was by himself, and there were a lot of other Titans around. In this situation, there were other people there. It's a lot easier to be brave when you're not alone. So I give him a B. But, you know, he doesn't take anything away from the story. Hannes is cool, unlike me. Hannes is cool. I really like Hannes. There's nothing wrong with being a B. Erwin, S, obviously. S tier. Anything less than an S would be a disrespectful. Erwin's probably, honestly, the best character in the series now. I'm not going to cap. He's number one, probably. He did fight alone, but there were people around. It's a lot easier to fight even if you're fighting one-on-one when there's people versus when you're literally by yourself. Especially at that time, that was his first time ever seeing a Titan. This time, they had seen multiple Titans at this time, so it's a lot different. Yeah, Erwin is definitely S for sure. It's not even worth explaining. He's definitely S. Aaron Krueger, again, I gave him an S because not only of his development, his character, his consistency, his screen time is very small, and his effect on the plot is huge. So definitely give Krueger S. He literally named the main character. Like, he's definitely S. Erwin should be the only S. No, that's not true. All right, Falco. I will admit in my last video I was a bit biased towards Falco and gave him S. I just really like Falco. I'm sorry. Falco's my favorite character now, probably, just because he's just such a fucking good person. But I'm giving him A. If y'all think I'm giving Falco anything lower than an A, y'all can suck my dick. But yeah, I really like Falco. I really like him. Annie, obvious F. Easy F. Get the fuck out of here. F, garbage, F tier, trash. Trash character. Takes away so much from the story. He's just so bad. He's just so bad. She's just so bad. Take away so much from the story. Get her the fuck out of here. Just so bad. Connie F, obviously. Terrible, hypocritical, dog shit, loudmouth, trash ass character. Waste of time, waste of space, and he didn't die, which is even more disrespectful. Like, just so trash. Get Connie the fuck. Get the fuck. Hanji F, trash tier character. Forces everyone to believe her ideology as if she's God or something. Like, bitch, you don't get to decide for me what's right and what's wrong. You don't get to decide for the dead what's right and what's wrong. That's so disrespectful. You don't get to make decisions for people who aren't around. You don't know how they feel or how they think or how they act in this scenario, you stupid bitch. What's more, she was never really this moral high figure or like person like that in the past. She was literally torturing niggas. So who is she to talk about they would never justify this? What if I said they never agree with torturing, you dumb bitch? What if I said that? We have the same grounds to believe. I have the same grounds to say that shit as you do. Fucking clown. This bitch, Kiyomi F, takes away from the story, doesn't add anything to it, and didn't need to be there, honestly. Just a Deus Ex Machina plot device. I understand that she's supposed to be the personification of the outside world trying to work with Eldia, but I think that the volunteers had already done that. Really didn't need to be there. Mikasa F. It makes absolutely no sense that she was willing to kill Eren. It makes absolutely no sense that she's kind to Annie when she's cruel to Luis and everyone else in the world, except for people that the story says she should be nice to, like Gabby and Annie, and that's it. And Eren. Just such a shitty dog shit, piece of shit, trash character. Even in the beginning of the story, she wasn't great. She was just all right, but now she's complete shit. She shouldn't even be. Like, it's disgusting. Get her the fuck out my face. Jean is just like, I have to treat him the same. Like, he's the most self-aware Yeagerist, but at the end of the day, not Yeagerist, Alliance member, but at the end of the day, he's still an Alliance member, which makes it even worse because he is self-aware of the problem that they face, the conundrum. But he's still against the Yeagerists, and he kills them with no remorse, just like they do. He may punch Reiner or whatever, but that's really nothing because he forgets about it the next day, and he threw a Thunder Spear at Falco before, so that makes him just as hypocritical as Connie, but at least, like, he literally tried to kill Falco too. That's not fair. You can't say that just because all these characters were written by Isayama. So we can't just say like, oh, this character's good. You sound like Isayama now, like, oh, they have their own autonomy. Like, no, this is the way Isayama chose to write him. Nah, Gene takes away from the story, guys. He does. Every Alliance member does. He got to get it with them. He got to get it in the mud. I'm sorry. He got to get it in the mud with them. Nope. He got to get it in the mud with them. He a part of the gang. He ride with the gang. They all F. Every Alliance member got to go to F. And he's an Alliance member. He got to go. Nope. He got to go with him. I'm sorry, you can't do that. That's like saying if you're the one who telling your friends, guys, we shouldn't be robbing a bank, and you go with them, drive the car, get away with it, and then y'all all go to jail, and the police go, well, you didn't want to do it, you were telling them not to, so we won't give you as much time. No. Why do I have to move Falco to F? No, being in an alliance, my bad. Being in an alliance as a Marleyan, I will never ever say that's bad because they have a reason to be in the alliance. They have a reason to be there. They're trying to save their families and their hometown. Obviously, they're going to join the alliance. They have no choice but to join the alliance. I'm talking about the Paradisian side, the people who have a choice but to join the alliance. They're the ones who I'm saying they all have to go. But obviously, fucking Gabby and Falco and Reiner are gonna want to save their homes. Come on now. Yamir, big F, huge F, huge F. She's probably the biggest F of all. She's so fucking bad. Why does their logic determine their position? Because of their character consistency. Their character consistency. The Gene from season 3 and season 1 and season 2, even the Gene in season 4 wouldn't join the alliance. Yeah, Ymir is definitely big F, huge F. Yeah, she's the biggest F failure in storytelling of all these characters. She is the absolute worst. She is completely illogical and broken in terms of writing. She makes absolutely no sense. There's no way to explain her character because if she chose to die by the spear, it makes no sense because then why would she serve King Fritz after that? If she because she clearly has autonomy. If she didn't choose to die by the spear and die by accident, then it still makes no sense because why does she need to be proven by Eren that love is what is so the love is what's gonna make her stop being it's so stupid. And then also how would she even know that Eren was gonna be this person to be the freest of all free, and that he would find Mikasa and fall in love with Mikasa, but have not a great relationship with Mikasa to where she could test this theory of hers? And then also, why did she make that face when Eren hugged her and embraced her if she was just gonna test the theory? It's just so bad. Ymir is literally the worst. Just the worst. The worst F. Alright, Gabby S. Again, I say Gabby is the only character from Marley with a completed redemption arc. That alone grants her an F. She is a consistent, well-written character, and I completely have no problem with the way she was handled. Only then, obviously, her 360 no scopes are pretty egregious. I give you that, but that's not necessarily writing. As far as her writing goes, she's S. Absolutely, she's the only character from Marley with a completed arc. So, she deserves that. Her shots are consistent. All right, Grisha. Again, I gave Grisha A last time, but now I don't know. Actually, let me think about it. Okay, so Grisha started off great. He got way better once we got backstory on why he did what he did. You know, how he had a son and shit like that. He got way better. And then when we went into past scenes and we found out about his past and all that stuff, he got even better, you know. But the question still remains, why did he give Eren the attack titan if he knew he wanted to stop him? If he knew he didn't want Eren to do what he was doing, why did he give him the attack titan? Yeah, if you ignore 137, but we ain't ignoring 137. That's the thing. So I can't give Grisha S because of 137. I can't give Grisha S because his consistency isn't there. He gave Eren the Titan even though he said he shouldn't do it. You know. So I'll give Grisha A, but I can't give him S. Now Reiner's hard because Reiner is a good character, but he got to a point where he stopped evolving and growing. After he met Eren, he literally just became like, after he met Eren a second time, he literally just became like a crybaby, emotional, like almost like mentally challenged. Like he never really says anything or has an opinion about anything. He's always depressed. He always had the same expression. He never made jokes like he used to. His schizophrenic nature is gone. He definitely added a lot to the story throughout his runtime, though. He stayed consistent. He developed. Doesn't I definitely wouldn't say he takes away. The sniffing of the letter really fucking sucked for him, though. The sniff was really bad. It's not inconsistent with his character, but it's just like weird. It was just weird. Great development. What a man you are, yeah. I had to give him B. I won't give him F, but I gotta give him B after all that. Yeah, he had too many negatives in the last arc, like a lot of characters. I want to give him A though, but I'll give him B. All right, Willie Tiber S tier again. The reason why I give Willie S tier, he made a major change to not only the story but of Aaron. He very much affected Aaron. He had very little screen time and he had development as well. His plan, all we found out all along, that he wanted to die. He was basically baiting Aaron to attack him so that the world would have a reason to, or would be more inclined to do so. And that's why I gave him an S. He definitely had a lot to do with the story, and he's a side character. I give him he's a great example of a good side character. He was only in the story for like 5 chapters, and he added so much and he developed so much in such a little time. He's definitely S. Really declare war on his own race. 11 luxury. Being a snake doesn't mean you're not S though. That's not how this works. That's not how it works. You can be a snake as long as you're a consistent one. Would you not give Askeladd S tier if you watch Vinland Saga? Because he's definitely a snake. Have you sent Krueger to A because he helps the Alliance in the end? Not necessarily, because I do kind of agree when people say that, well, no. Yeah, that is true, huh? Yeah, that is true, huh? Yeah, I forgot about that. You're right. You're right. You're right. Yeah. That's of all the people that help kill Aaron in the end, Krueger's was the most hypocritical of all of them, because he literally killed aliens to free Eldia his whole life. So yeah, he definitely gets knocked down. You're right. I forgot about that. You're right. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Definitely give him A. You're right. You're absolutely right. I forgot about that. All right, Yelena. Yeah, Yelena is a consistent character. She doesn't develop too much. She affects the plot heavily. She's the bridge between Zeke and Aaron. So if not for her, they wouldn't ever be able to have a communication. I'd definitely give her A. I don't think she's S though, but I definitely would give Yelena A. Okay. Then Zeke. Now, Zeke was S tier, absolutely. Everything about Zeke was S tier until 137. 137, 137 really fucked Zeke over to me. 137 really fucked Zeke over to me. He would have been S, but 137 really fucked that man over, because he 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 shouldn't have died like that. It's just a really forced death. It was a really forced and cliche death, but other than that, he was great. Other than that, he was S. So really, just one bad thing is not enough to put him down to B. So I'll give him S. I mean, I'll give him A, but not S. But if he had have died a better way, he definitely would be S. Definitely would be S. 1/4 Yamir helped the Alliance too, but that's believable that she do it. That's more believable than fucking Krueger. It's not even hypocritical. It's hypocritical for Krueger to do it. It's not. It's believable that Yamir would do it. All right, Sasha, B. Sasha doesn't do anything but die. Once again, her death had more effect on the plot than anything else, and dying is not something that the character did. So yeah, she's definitely B. It's hypocritical because Historia? Well, she doesn't know what Historia wants. And we on our last boy, the main character, the big dog himself, Eren Yeager, which of course we're giving him F. Why would we not give him F? What other choice do we have but to give him F right next to his buddy boy Armin? This dude literally did an entire 190, 360, 180 degree Xbox 360 rear ring of death turn. And the last chapter, it turned into a piece of shit. A piece of shit that he never was before. He never been that person. Never was that person. And I don't know who thought he was that person, because the story that I got, he was not that person. And not only that, yeah, he personifies himself into a bird. Trash. Just a tragic character. He had the biggest fall of all. So sad. Takes away so much from the story, more than obviously anybody, because he's the main character. Takes away from the messaging, takes away from the themes, takes away from the plot, takes away from the logic, takes away from himself as a character, takes away from all the people who died, takes away from all the billions of people that he killed, takes away from every character on this list who fought for him. Just trash. But there you go. So that's the Attack on Titan tier list for the entirety of the story. So we're getting Eren and Armin in F, with Maggot, Peak, Onyakapon, Annie, Connie, Hanji, Kiyomi, Mikasa, Jean, and Ymir, all in F tier. And in B tier, we have Pixis, Shotis, Zackley, Porco, Dina, Frida, Levi, Marcel, the bitch who's Willie's brother, Willie Tyber's sister, Reese, Hannes, Reiner, and this bitch, Sasha. Then we have in A tier, we have Bertoldo, Historia, this nigga who's a fucking snake hypocrite, Aaron Krueger, Colt, Reiner's twin brother, Falco, fuck am I talking about? Falco, Flock, Saver. This guy is not Yuri. We're gonna pretend like he's the first king that built the walls. Kenny, Falco, Grisha, Elena, and Zeke. And then in S tier, we only have 4 characters: Freckled Ymir, Erwin, Gabby, and Willie. That's it. Don't be Isayama and forget Marco. If Marco was alive, he'd be A. If Marco was on the list, he'd be A. But he's not on the list. I didn't make this list. Too lazy to make my own. But I give him A, yeah. He affects the plot greatly. Develops very low screen time. Give him A. Look at Zorro. Erwin's the best character in the series, yeah. In my opinion, Erwin's the best. Erwin is like a flawless character to me. But Gabby's second best. IoT A&R characters? Probably, we'll see. What about Levi's squad? I don't think they're big enough. They were only in like 2 or 3 chapters. I don't think they're worthy of being on a tier list. They all are pretty bland. They'd be a B. They'd all be B. Connie's mom is S tier, of course. Yeah, Zine ain't as bad as the other Fs, but he gotta be with them. Why is Eren F? Because he's dog shit. Pre 139, of course. Pre 139, Eren would be number 1, of course. But we talking about post 139. His own tier, assassinate his character or something. Hey man, Armin got assassinated too. Everybody, let's share the assassinations. But yeah, that's the list, boys. Hope you enjoyed the video. And hopefully we get AOE and it changes. Right.